What's up, everybody? I'm going to start making these videos eventually. I'll start editing them. I'll get better cameras. I'll get with it. A buddy of mine, fellow business owner, who's real big in the Toyota community over in New Zealand, told me I should start making YouTube videos, documentaries, whatnot. I hate being on camera, so if I look weird or stumble over my words, bear with me, please. So what I want to talk to you about today is this is normally not an ECU I'd work on. It's the first one I'm doing, and I think it's cool. I burned myself. That sucks. It sucks real bad. Anyway, this is a JDM Toyota or Honda Beat ECU. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Honda Beat. It's a little mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, little tiny, I guess you'd consider it a K car. They're pretty neat, pretty sporty, high revving engines. People put B series and K series in them, and I think they even put D series engines in them. It's really cool. This one came in because it's a failed ECU, which is common with older ECUs in the European market and Japanese market. As you see, the tops of these capacitors, they look, I don't know if you can see on the camera. Oops, can't bend that. They're bulging. They're bulging up, and as you see this faint the black substance that looks like little airbrush or little burn marks. That is ESR acid. It's basically a battery acid that is the chemical that is used inside the capacitors. Basically, these are in-circuit batteries, and what they do is they charge and they emit power accordingly to the components that are tied to them. This one here totally like annihilated his leg. This is just a product of old age. It's not a matter of mileage or how the car was taken care of or when or any of these variables, other than it's old. It's an old ECU. Luckily, this one hasn't made it through the board. Sometimes you see it right through the board. It makes life difficult getting them apart. So anyway, in order to fix this ECU, one, these capacitors have to be replaced. And people say it doesn't matter what brand capacitor you use. I found differences between them within tolerances and whatnot. You know, like this one says it's a 220 microfarad, 35 volt cap made by Nichicon. So let's say I got like a cheap unit off of eBay. You know, let's just call it an XYZ cap. You know, an XYZ cap says it's the same thing, but it's made in poor grade. The chemical compound in it's just not really sufficient. Kind of like a good cheap off-name battery lasting versus a good battery. One, a lot of times they won't last, and with these, they're made within a tolerance. So you know, this will probably be exactly what it says or pretty darn close to it. Versus other companies, it'll say 220 UF, let's say, and it'll really be like 160 or some crazy number UF. The voltage rating will be all over the place. It will not hold the ripple current. Everything in it will just be wrong. I mean, so if you want optimum performance, you know, I would suggest changing it with the same part, which isn't an issue. We use Nichicon here, as you can see. Let's zoom in. Get to focus. Nichicon, and as a matter of fact, these are 220 UF 25 volts. This is a 220 35 volt. So we're going to probably have to order these. This component here This IC is damaged. As you can see, the ESR acid has contaminated the legs. That's no good. And as you can see, the board has sustained corrosion and damage that's soaked into the copper. This is an issue that has to be addressed, and has to be addressed in a certain way. There are chemicals that we use, that we've developed to fully clean that off the board without actually eating into the copper. Other people have used like etching agents and stuff that will actually do more harm than good. But anyway, I'm going to fix this and I'll make a video when it's done.